this is Yolanda Van Veen, and in this segment we're going to talk all about how to plant corn. Now this particular corn is a sweet corn. It's called a bodacious hybrid, and it says to sow the seed in the spring after all danger of frost has passed and the soil temperatures reaches a minimum of 50 to 60 degrees. 95 degrees is optimum. Now you plant the seeds about 1 inch deep in rows 3 inches apart, placing the kernels 6 inches apart in the row. Now you prepare the soil in the early spring and incorporate compost, manure, and a complete organic fertilizer mix. A succession of plantings at 2 to 4 week intervals assures a steady supply of corn for several months and planted in full sun. Now I have just regular compost in a raised flower bed, and they did really well last year. So I'm just going to plant them in the same row again, about 1 inch deep. And it's in the greenhouse, so it's a lot warmer than it is outside. So I'm planting it a good 2 months before I would plant it outside. I'm planting it in the greenhouse in March here in the Northwest, but I wait till about May at least if you're planting them outside. So here, I'll show you how to do it. Now I like to make raised rows in my raised beds, and that way they get lots of water, but it also drains out and it gets lots of heat. So when I'm planting them, I like to overplant my vegetables. So if the package says 1 for every 6 inches, I usually do 2 or 3 for every 6 inches, because not every one of them comes out, and you can always thin them out. That means just taking some out and then moving it to another area or just disposing of it. But I'm just going to kind of zigzag, so I'm not making it too strict, and I'm just kind of poking them into the ground. So I'm kind of making triangles. I really like triangles. So I just poke it in. You can make a trough and fill them in as well, but I've just found by just poking them in, they do really well. And 1 for every 6 inches or so, but I'm doing a little more than that. A lot of times too, I'll just sprinkle some throughout the bed and then go through and really separate it out a little bit more. So this is also an easy way to do it, is just to kind of spread them out a little bit, knowing again, not every one of them is going to take. Kind of just spread them out. So I can poke them into the ground about 1 inch, but I found it's really easy just to put a layer of about 1 inch of soil on top of them too. And then that way I know that they're covered up and they've got some really nice fresh compost. Now the soil is nice and moist, so I'm not going to water it quite yet. As it gets warmer during the days and the ground kind of dries out, I'm going to water it just by misting it. And I'm going to keep checking on it, and my corn is going to come up and it's going to do really well, just like it did last year.